Hey everyone, alright, so before we get into the details, I want to throw a disclaimer out there. This video is all about the game called Manor Lords that is currently having a free week-long demo on Steam. If you haven't checked it out, definitely do so. I'm going to add some points here. I hope you do it anyways, but let me know. Now, some of the things you may be asking yourself, why is Porpy bringing this up? Well, let me give you 3 simple facts as to why. 1, it's medieval. 2, it's beautiful. Thirdly, it's fun. Okay, so those are pretty much simple facts, right? Well, that's my reasoning. I'm kind of sticking to it, so let me get on with my disclaimer instead of ranting on and on about stuff and things. Now, I have played the demo for about 14 hours, and I can confidently say that as someone who has never played a real-time strategy game, I am absolutely in love and enjoying every second of it. Now, because of my lack of RTS experience, my opinions may be a little skewed, or they may lack intelligence when it comes to other games of the same nature, so just be aware if I come off sounding like I don't know anything. Okay? Now, let's get into the details because that's what you really want to hear. The demo starts off with a letter pretty much telling you that you have a few peasants, 5 to be exact, and you need to build up your settlement. Sounds pretty easy, right? It's kind of is, kind of isn't. I'm kind of getting Fallout 4 vibes, but you know, that's, yeah, we'll deal with that later. Now, it'll kind of hold your hand for a few steps and kind of explain to you that you need to make a few starter buildings, like a woodcutter, a granary, a storage, and like a logging thing. Well, once these are built, you'll have to assign a peasant to that building or like that task. Now, some buildings, such as like the forester, will only need 1 person. But others, like the hunting camp, which can go up to 2, storage, which can go up to 2, and the granary, all require 1 person, but like in instances of the granary, that can go up to 6 people working at it. Obviously, the more people you put towards it, the quicker you can store supplies, the quicker you can have, or like the more carts you can have, stuff like that. It just kind of helps you build up your resources significantly more quickly. Now, needless to say, asset management is very important during your initial few hours. So after a while, you'll actually begin accumulating resources like logs, timber, pelts, meat, and even berries, which you will definitely need for the winter season. Think like you're a squirrel. You gotta like pack in a bunch of like nuts and like hibernate pretty much, right? So pretty much shortly after assigning your 5 peasants their roles, you'll get another letter which tells you to begin building them actual homes, because apparently sleeping on the grass under a starry sky is a terrible thing. But I guess with winter coming up, they might freeze to death, and they will if you don't build them houses. So just FYI, definitely build them houses. Now, you'll have to build a few homes, and once they're complete, the peasants' families magically kind of show up and begin working under your iron fist. Okay, like these are peasants, they're gonna do what you tell them to do. Now, at this point, the game truly begins to open up. You'll get access to other builds like wells, windmills, churches, taverns, and other resource gathering structures that will help aid you in making your settlement a force to be reckoned with. Now, unfortunately, the demo only allows for the basics, so like I couldn't raise an army or like really begin trading with other territories because it simply wasn't allowed. I got as far as the game telling me to build my manor house, but once I was like trying to put it in, it did not allow me to actually set that manor home. So I just assumed that was a feature of the demo, not necessarily a bug. Now, speaking of bugs, I've hardly come across any during my time playing the game. That's 14 hours and I've only encountered 2 bugs. One of them was the occasional like fence clipping through the house once it's been built, like the yard fence, or like a peasant like chopping down a tree that like wasn't there, or like after they had felled that tree they were like chopping the dirt and there was nothing there. But the game has pretty much been very consistent in terms of running steady and not having any visual or graphical or really performance bugs whatsoever. And moving on to my final point, the game is truly just a beautiful experience. The last time I played an RTS game was Halo Wars, and I played it for about 2 days and I literally never touched it again. I returned it to GameStop, I told them I never want to do that, and I bought something else, who knows. But with Manor Lords, I've had nothing short of an amazing experience when it comes to the gameplay mechanics and the visual fidelity. Now, there are neat mechanics like idle work, where you can assign the peasants to work in the granary, for instance, if they're feeling lazy and not doing their normal job of like wood cutting. But you can also set your builds to priority function, where you can lay everything out, have pretty much your whole city ready to go as long as you have the materials, but you can set your priority of building so the peasants know to build XYZ first. And obviously, you're going to want to focus on things that'll help you survive, and then you kind of go into the extra stuff like maybe like a tavern or the church, which aren't absolutely necessary in the beginning, but it is a nice touch to have. Now, there are a ton of quality of life improvements and just details in this demo, and I'm not lying when I'm telling you that I'm extremely excited about the finished product. Now, for anyone who has watched the channel, like Legendary Porpoise channel, you will know that I'm a huge supporter of pretty games, like visually attractive games, and this game pretty much takes the cake in the genre that it's in. It is as perfectly well polished as a AAA title? Of course not. But coming from a single developer by the name of Slavic Magic, this title is set to impress even those of us who are looking for things wrong. Like, I'm no expert, but I can appreciate a good game when I play it, and I feel like this demo was a perfect example of not only getting a lot of community feedback, but also allowing the PC community to test out a great game. Now, anyways, I need to digress because I'm getting a little carried away, so let's get back into the graphics and just quickly touch on that. Now, I had my game running at ultra settings, and I didn't notice any issues with FPS, screen tearing, or anything like that. I was getting consistently anywhere between 90 to 120 frames, which was pretty good. I mean, this game can't be too demanding, I would assume, but obviously, like, I'm a big first-person shooter, or Minecraft, 120 FPS can sometimes be difficult, but this game runs extremely smoothly. Now, I'm sure if you have a large amount of like peasants and your village grows into a city, and then it just gets larger and larger, you might expect some performance issues, but once again, I couldn't really get to that point in the demo, so I'm just simply going off of first impressions here. Now, one thing that is really cool is that you can get into first person mode and get a true idea of what you're building and how it looks to your actual peasants. So not only is that a pretty nifty feature, but I can certainly see myself getting some realistic ideas for like some Minecraft builds just from playing this game, very similar to what I do with like Kingdom Come Deliverance, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, things like that. Now, the homes, the level of detailing on the grass, and the attention to just small details are what make this game stand out among others, even from large publishers. But that's all I really have to say for this review. Yes, it was pretty short and sweet, but that's pretty much all I had to go on because I had the demo, and, either way, I hope you enjoyed this video nonetheless. Now, Manor Lords is available for Steam wishlist, so I strongly suggest for you to check it out. Give the demo a try if you have time this week, and just, if this is even something somewhat in your wheelhouse of interest, definitely check it out. Okay, I'm gonna have that link in the description for you to check out, so follow that. However, that's pretty much all I have for the day. So this is the Legendary Porpoise signing out. I hope all of you have a good day. Happy gaming. I'll catch you again for the next one.